How's it going? Keith Townsend from the CTOadvisor.com. You're looking at today's Daily Dose. Today I think is August. Wait, hold on. What is today? Is it the 14th or? Oh, I'm scared. It was only the 11th. My brother's birthday is on the 14th, and I got a little scared that I hadn't called him. Today is August 11th, and you're watching your CTO Advisor Daily Dose. We're going to talk about the difference between extending your data center into the cloud versus adopting a cloud native approach to the cloud. Now, that might sound a little loaded at the beginning. Like, why wouldn't I want to be cloud native? Of course, all the cool kids are doing cloud native. And if I'm not going to do cloud native, why even do the cloud? And you may be asking yourself, what is even cloud native? We'll answer that question in today's CTO Daily Dose. So conceptually, we have to decide when we're building a cloud strategy whether or not we're going to extend our data center. So, inside of our data center, we have a set of services, basic services. We will do the virtual machine. So we'll provide virtual machines to our end users. We'll have our service management, such as Snow, ServiceNow. Inside of our data center, we'll have storage platforms, maybe some NAS for file sharing. The list goes on and on and on. Our end users will open a service request to leverage one of these services inside of our enterprise data center. There's basic business challenges that comes with running these services inside of our data center. One, we need to oversubscribe or overbuild these physical resources so that we can provide them as a target of consumption for our end users. We don't want to run out of file sharing space. We don't want to run out of virtualization host space, storage. ServiceNow needs to be robust and always available, etc., etc., etc. The internet needs to be up and running. That means that there's a capital commitment from a depreciation perspective and a people ops perspective that really can be a challenge to manage. In comes the cloud. So initially, services like AWS, Azure focused on infrastructure as a service that was geared towards startups, people who were not burdened with a legacy data center. They could go into AWS and use these services natively as designed for the cloud. Later on, companies like AWS decided they needed to appeal to the enterprise and allow for enterprise class services. So there's this concept that instead of using resources, financial resources, from a CapEx perspective to expand your data center footprint to meet the needs of your end users, that you can expand these services into the cloud. So that offers two benefits. One, it moves from a CapEx model where we have capital expenditures and the depreciation schedules to an OpEx model that we can use services as we consume them or pay for services as we consume them. And it should add a bit more agility. Since I don't have the physical footprint of a data center needing to install bare metal servers, install a VM on top of it, configure the virtual machine environment, etc., and manage all of that physical infrastructure, we can outsource that to the cloud provider. So in the cloud provider, we just simply offer VMs, our ServiceNow platform or whatever our ITSM is, our virtual machines, our storage platform, our file sharing services. All of this looks very similar to what we're doing in the data center today, and the cloud just becomes an extension of our data center and data center services. We're not doing anything cloud native. We're just taking our operations model, lifting and shifting that to the cloud or extending that to the cloud. A lot of people take this approach when they migrate to the cloud. They just do what they do today in someone else's data center. This is where the term that the cloud is just someone else's computer comes from or originates from. This is very appealing. One, it's simple to do, and employees are not really being retooled or retrained on a new set of processes and technologies outside of understanding the cloud portal and the control plane for the cloud. Everything else is pretty straightforward. End users, exact same process. They open a ticket in your ITSM, and then that request either get fulfilled on the back end from your data center team directly, or a proxy of your data center team inside the cloud. We can put all kind of services on top of that. AWS even offers a managed service for this model. However, if your business objective is to transform the way you deliver IT services, and you don't only want to just have this hybrid IT perspective in which you're extending your data center, but you also want to consume services such as AWS Lambda, serverless, or Kubernetes. AWS just recently announced they're supporting Kubernetes. They've joined the CCNF, the Cloud Computing something found, I forget the acronym. And then other services, past services that you don't offer today in your data center, et cetera, et cetera. AWS has a call manager, SaaS services, et cetera, that now your end users have the ability, either through some type of orchestration tool, to consume that in the cloud, or they bypass that directly and go directly to the cloud portal and consume it. This is definitely transformation. Obviously, you're leveraging the tools of the cloud, aka cloud native. You're using the native capability of a cloud service provider to provide services that you simply don't offer in your data center. So this is not just an extension of your data center, but a net new capability that you're adding to your IT service portfolio. Much more difficult transformation, because then you enter all of the challenges of managing and integrating hybrid IT and cloud native into your supporting agencies. Finance needs to understand this model. Compliance, security, all of that needs to be wrapped in. All these processes, purchasing, all that needs to be wrapped into this cloud native approach. Whereas before, when IT is the gatekeeper for accessing cloud, and we're doing just a narrow set of services that we can replicate both in our data center and our public cloud, it keeps it very simple. We can move from public cloud provider to public cloud provider just based on that baseline set of, I'm going to do VMs, storage, networking, etc., just the way I do it today, just in the cloud versus this cloud native model. So that's it for The CTO Advisor. Visit me on the web, thectoadvisor.com. Subscribe to the podcast, also at thectoadvisor.com. And of course, follow me on Twitter at CTO Advisor. Engage me on LinkedIn. This will be shared on LinkedIn so that you can comment and have an extended conversation about today's conversation. Talk to you guys next CTO Advisor.